Final confrontation of the season. McGee, Mamola. Mamola looks behind once again. Killy.
Amici di Gazzetta Motori, siamo a Vallelunga Honda Festival con Randy Mamola, vice campione del mondo nel 1984. In 1984 he was vice world champion, 10 years in MotoGP, but you are a legend not only for your victory. You won the first time in 1980, one of the younger riders of MotoGP of 500 to win, and it was it made emotional for the people. So one of the legend, because the person remember your winning, your racer, and your mood to ride a bike. Very, very emotional.
Yes.
And everyone remember Randy Mamola for this thing, most for the victory. Now, in this year, you follow the race of MotoGP, of course, and what you think about this season? About Marquez, Bagnaia, and Martin? What's your impression?
Listen, the season is always a surprise. Sometimes more emotion than less emotion, but always a surprise. And with Martin and Pecco, we knew both of them would be on a level of who would win the World Championship. But Mark arrived after many years with Honda and not doing so well the last few years to arrive to Gresini with the satellite bike. And obviously this is a great opportunity to watch him come back to life in the World Championship. Everything is different, you know, when we look at the championship now. And we still have Pesecchi, who is on the podium. We have different riders that are able to get to the podium, but not consistent. The consistency is Martin, Pecco, and Mark at the moment.
And about the technical of the MotoGP, what is your impression? Because why Ducati is so fast and why the Yamaha and Honda are not consistent, it's not fast now? What is the main problem? The electronic, the development?
It's the engineer of Ducati, Delle, and the way the team was structured when Delle take over from Preziosi. Preziosi had great ideas and things, but we saw that when Delle came in, he had some different ideas. I'm not connected directly with Ducati, but we saw something growing. At this moment, when Delle came in, it was Japanese racing against Japanese, and there was a Ducati team. If you remember the first years of first row, Caparossi won one race and Bayliss won at the end of the year, but in reality 5 years later it took Stoner to win the World Championship. But then either Honda in Japan or Yamaha or Suzuki were winning the title. They were fighting, and Aprilia was around, but it wasn't really about European motorcycle at the moment. But then 12 years after Stoner, we have Pecco. Pecco win 2 times. When you go back in time, when you saw the first aerodynamic coming from Ducati, maybe everybody said, what is this? You know, but this was the start of something that we see now has grown very big. When the first year, maybe 15 or 16, with the first wing come with the Vizioso and these guys, it wasn't so spectacular, meaning it wasn't a huge advantage, something like this. But don't forget, Ducati was doing all the testing behind closed door. And now, with what is left for Honda and Yamaha behind, was in the beginning, 2018, 2019, Yamaha was still able to win. They start to make some aerodynamic, but not to the level of today with the electronic and this package. So at the moment, you understand concession. Honda, Yamaha have concession, meaning they can test more. But when they're testing, the door is open. the press see what is happening, they don't see the misery that Ducati had to work for 3 years or more.
With the door closed.
Exactly.
It's
But now
different.
with Honda, it's completely different, and social media shows a lot. So
Not easy today to
no, but when, for example, you before Mugello, they make a test, Yamaha and Honda and Ducati with Hero. When they make this test, the Yamaha finish saying we make it an advancer. But at the end, Quattraro and Zato were 1 second apart at the end of the race. They're still behind. Where you must judge is how close they are to the points. This is what you must always judge. Because look, when the Japanese were racing the Japanese, Ducati was never there every week.
You like the MotoGP of today? You race in some years where is vivid, where the driver has great courage, and also the trouble, also the fear is different today. How do you like today, and what do you like?
So listen, my era was fantastic. My era with two-stroke. Every manufacturer make a small change on the engine for this character, not aerodynamic, not electronic, things like this. But the level of what is today is also exceptional. And yes, we were in a more, if you will, dangerous world. This is why we fought for safety. This is why the circuits today are more safe, because of the beginning of our road to racing in the World Championship in the 80s and in the 90s. And now with four-stroke, they're very valiant people. I mean, riders. The speed is 366, top speed. The bike is very heavy, physically, it's very demanding. People think that riding a bike that has electronic is easy. It is not. It's nowhere easy. Nothing is easy when it comes to racing, and at this level.
We see Marquez as a standard bike, but no one made the podium that made Marquez with this bike.
Yes, I mean, we saw last year, 2023 bike winning the World Championship. This is the bike Mark has. But also 2022 bikes with Maseki and Giantonio. They won races last year. So maybe the 24 bike has just that little bit extra that's making it more difficult. But also, only 7 races. Then, you must think about this. Franco Morbidelli. He's finishing sometimes 6th position, 7th position. First time on Ducati like Mark, 7 races. And when you think about Morbidelli when he was with Yamaha the last 2 years, was terrible for him. And was very down, very discouraged.
20 position.
Yeah.
About Aprilia, what do you think?
Aprilia signing Martin
Yeah.
is a big present for them.
The bike is good, I think. They had
The
not
bike is good.
riders as
The
much.
bike is good. But now you have somebody who rode the Ducati and is riding Ducati now, leading the championship. This will move to Aprilia. He will bring a lot in what the feeling is and so on. Martin is very talented. This is what the sports need. Maybe it looks like Pramac could be a Yamaha team. If this happened, think about this. Yamaha goes there. I don't know how many years Pramac has been with Ducati, but imagine the information that Yamaha can absorb for the future. And don't forget, 2027 is more than 50 races away from now.
Yeah.
We have a lot of racing to do, a lot of racing to see, and a lot of growth.
A lot of time to study.
This for me sounds better than 4 Ducati teams. Maybe 3 Ducati teams. You understand? No, not that I want them to take it away, but it would be nice to see that. And I think Honda must focus a lot with LCR and really maintain the push, which they are, as we know.
When you stop the race, you see the riders outside from the track. In this last 25 years about, who is the riders very impressive for you, your preferred riders in the last 24 years, and why?
I mean, listen, when Valentino was racing and we begin four stroke, Honda make a 5-cylinder. When you hear the first time you say, Honda's making a 5-cylinder, this was incredible.
Yes,
you know?
incredible.
And the first year, 1, 2, 3, 4 position was Honda. Nobody cried. Nobody said, oh, Honda has too much. But now with Ducati, everybody say, oh, Ducati has too much. We forget very quickly.
Yeah.
But things will always change. Things will always be abrupt.
And last question about the 80 years and see Kenny Roberts,
Eddie Lawson,
and the world championship, Lawson, Rainey, dual sponsored. What do you think about that? There is something that you remember that made excellent in the one thing these guys. What is good for Lawson? Do you remember about Lawson?
Eddie Lawson was is like Pecco, very quiet,
Concentrated.
very quiet, more secluded. If he has to talk to TV, he will, but doesn't really like. But the camera likes them, and I was a very close friend with Eddie through the championship, but even Kenny Roberts, Barry Sheen. We had a good camaraderie, but on the racetrack we were always fighting. When I see this, you know, it's fantastic to have been a part of this part of the championship. But Eddie was 4 times world champion, Kenny Roberts 3 times. What I think Europeans don't realize is, yes, Stoner was world champion on the Ducati, and then switched to Honda, make world championship. Pedro Acosta, he make a podium the first year. I make a podium first year. I'm the youngest in this, 19 years old. My first year in racing, not my first year riding 500.
Oh yeah.
You understand? The
Yes,
difference
a
is,
difference bit.
so
Was
the riders
little
of
guys.
Marquez and Stoner, Red Bull rookie, 125, Moto 3, Moto 2, or 250, and then MotoGP.
cross.
They understand, but they understand every circuit. Kenny Roberts arrived and win the world championship the first year.
You know,
But no racing, no circuit. You know, so
Very
it was completely different. In the same moment, this is our nature. This is the way things happen. I love watching Pedro Acosta because he's so fun to see. It's like the young Marquez. It's like the young Valentino. And what we had with myself, with Kenny, with Eddie, Freddie was magic also, Spencer. You know? So there are so many things, and there are so many new ones to come, and this is what's exciting for me. Okay.
Pedro Acosta this year is the first year in MotoGP, but he made in his life more race than Agostini.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
from where you
No,
started,
it's incredible. It's incredible.
Of the season, McGee, Mamola. Mamola looks behind once again. Killy, the Radigues. Mamola trying all he can to pass McGee, the man who took his place in Kenny Roberts' team.